Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss any update from Tech Primers. Welcome to Tech Primers. In this particular video, we are going to see the differences between OAuth 2 and JWT. Some of you guys have requested me to make a video on this particular difference, so here we go. So OAuth 2 is what we are going to see first. So imagine this is the whole workflow of OAuth 2. So imagine OAuth 2 is a framework. So OAuth 2 is nothing but a framework where you need to do some authorization and authentication. Let's see how does OAuth 2 does that, right, as a framework. So imagine your resource server is your third-party application or the client where you are going to log in. So the client is what we are, and authorization server is something like let's say a Facebook login or a Google login. So most of the sites when you log in, right, for example, if you log into TripAdvisor or Glassdoor.com, it asks you to log in via the Google account or the Facebook account, right? So imagine that the Glassdoor website or the TripAdvisor website as the resource server, we as the client, and authorization as the Facebook or the Google API, right? So initially what we do is we just open the Glassdoor website. That is what A is. We send a client request to say that, okay, authorize me. So by that time, resource server asks you, how should I authorize you? How should I grant you permission? Based on which API? Then you say that, okay, I will be using Google. So that is C. So C is going to get redirected to Google. So when you click on the Google icon, it genuinely goes to Google website. And then once you log into the Google website, you will be prompted an option saying, do you want to allow this particular application, basically the Glassdoor or the TripAdvisor, to allow it to use your information, right? So and you say that granted. So you say allow, right? So what happens is Facebook or Google, they send an access token to the resource server. So they send an access token to Glassdoor or the TripAdvisor website saying that this particular user can be authorized with this particular access token, right? And that will be now received in the resource server. Okay, once it is received in the resource server, now the authorization needs to be done, right? So resource server will now request saying, okay, give me all the user identity details, and then the authorization server sends it. The resource server and the authorization server will have its communication already, because they will create a third-party API, the secret and the public key, so that Facebook knows that, okay, Glassdoor is a client for Facebook, and then they know that, okay, I need to give you the correct information. So that is an additional step which happens. And finally, once all these authenticity is like verified, the Glassdoor website allows you to log in with the username and the email address which you had used to log into the Google account. So this is how the whole OAuth 2 works. So you can see that OAuth 2 is a framework. So it has this kind of specific setup where you request the request goes to the authorization server. From there it comes back, and then it goes to the resource server and stuff like that. So this is like a complete package. So it is a complete framework. So that is OAuth 2. So now let's see what is JWT, right? So JWT is nothing but JSON Web Tokens. So basically tokens are just the part of OAuth 2, right? You saw what we did here. There is a token which is generated by the authorization server to be sent to the resource server so that it can use that for any subsequent calls or something. So that is the token, right? So same way, JWT is just a token. It's basically a protocol with which you can use authorization and authentication. So basically you can see what is the use case here. So we just do a login. We give a username and password to the server. The server validates that, okay, this username and password is correct, and then it creates a token which is called the JWT. So which is using the JWT protocol to create a token. So JWT is just a protocol with which a token is created. It's nothing but an encryption mechanism or something like that to create a token, and the token is given back to the user or the client. From the client, it is going to use the same token again and again for the next subsequent request. So that is it. So this JWT is just a part of the authentication mechanism. If you see in OAuth, we had a whole flow how an authorization or authentication happens, but in case of JWT, it's just a token which the server sends to you. So if you have a application which is just going to be very simple, and then you just communicate with the server straight in a straightforward way, then you can use JWT to just have a simple mechanism. If you are having a third-party application and you want to authorize somebody based on some Google or Facebook account which they already have, and you don't want them to create it in your website or something, then you can go ahead with OAuth 2, where you can just delegate the authorization to the third party, and then basically the authorization server, basically the Google or the Facebook's, and then you can, based on the grants, you can use the tokens generated by Google or Facebook, and then you can use that for authenticating your clients. So that is the basic difference between OAuth 2 and JWT. Hope you guys have a good understanding now what is OAuth 2 and what is JWT. Basically OAuth 2 is a framework and JWT is a protocol. Okay, that's it for this particular video. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to it. Meet you again in the next video. Thank you very much.